Welcome everybody to the Cop Youngster Cop Friday's Final Word. It's our brand new show. As always, I'm joined here with my man Andrew. Our other Atlantic friend is Stephen. He's coming along the way. I just run a bit late, but he's going to be here to join us later on tonight. So we're really excited about this brand new show. So we're hoping that everyone else joins it too. We're just going to be talking about everything Liverpool, really. So anything that's come up. It's going to be also a chance for us to rant if we're, happy about things that are going on at Liverpool. So I think to start off with, I think there's been, a lot of anger at FSG this week after the recent form, and there's obviously you're getting Klopp saying how he doesn't hold the transfers in a sense that he can't make the transfers. He can only suggest players that he can't, and it's making it sound as if FSG are kind of clipping his wings and not allowing him to buy anyone. So yeah, I think it's dividing a lot of fans on the Twitter feed today. I saw some of you were saying they are FSG in, some are FSG out, some are not wanting to criticize Klopp.
Change the record.
So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the press conference today, and I'm kind of I feel like he walked a fine line of throwing FSG under the bus, but also respecting what they've done so far. It's just it seemed like he said that they're basically not backing me for this window, but it's the same process as it's always been, kind of thing. And to be honest, I thought this could have gone two ways. I thought it could have, I think that if FSG backed us in the January window due to our injuries, I think it would have said a lot about them. I think it would have, reinstated their view that we want to win the title again this year. We're just gonna go for it. We want a trophy. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen now. Maybe the right deals weren't out there. Maybe they didn't want to spend any more money with, they brought in Thiago, they brought in Jota, they brought in Tsimikas. Jota was 41 million. So, they still have that to pay off. Thiago was 25, they still have that to pay off. So, at the same time, though, we heard over the summer that there was no money. There's no money. We don't expect anybody. And then we signed 3 players. So I don't know. Maybe the right deal isn't out there. I don't know if Edwards is trying to be smart and they're just going to wait until the summer. But I think right now we just need to understand that no one's likely coming in this window. So we're stuck with what we have, and we just need to move on with it. We're 6 points back right now. I think we're 6 points back, right? Or 5 points. Yeah, 6 points. But City have a couple games in hand, but or they have 1 game in hand. Season's not over. We just crossed the halfway mark. There's still a lot of games, a lot of football to play. So, I've been saying it the entire time, I think for the past couple of weeks, this is the game to turn it around. Now is the time to turn it around. And hopefully, I think Klopp knows it now. He's, no more excuses. The players know it, no more excuses. And now the fans know, no more excuses.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one because I've never been FSG or FSG out, that whole kind of bandwagon. I've always just been look, they are not the perfect owners, and obviously they've made mistakes, but they've done a lot of good stuff. But they made mistakes, and yes, it'd be amazing if we were, like a City and we could splash out 200 million every summer or every window and stuff. But we don't have that kind of finances. I still believe there is money because, all the journalists, local Liverpool journalists are saying that we're going to splash the cash big in the summer. So there is money there. I just think I think maybe 1 or 2 things. I think maybe we have a list of targets in January that we, ideal targets, and maybe they're not available in January. And maybe they also are thinking that they don't want to overpay on someone that's not the primary target. And plus, I think it doesn't help the fact that everyone knows we want a centre-back. So, maybe a player might have been 15 million before, But as soon as we come in, they say it's 30 million or 40 million because they know we're desperate centre backs.
Plus, there's already a January transfer window premium to begin with.
Yeah. So I think that works against us. So I can see on one hand, but I can also see at the same time that a lot of people are saying, well, surely they could find a centre back with our amazing scouts. We normally talk about how Edwards and the scouts team are amazing. They could find a centre back that's better than the Williams or Phillips that can come in. And they probably could. I mean, I don't know. I think it's difficult because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's easy to blame an FSG and say they're not backing Klopp and this stuff, but we don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes properly.
I mean, I've always been FSG, and I don't understand these FSG out things. I mean, maybe back when we signed Andy Carroll for 35 million pounds, maybe that's when I was FSG out. But I guess, what are you hearing about Militao? Because he's the kind of guy that Madrid signed. Obviously, he's not playing much. Seems like Alaba might be on his way over there. I think you've mentioned in the past that Militao could be heading the other way, but it seems like that's almost the perfect contract for us. Weekly wages are only, I think, £100,000. I mean, what are you hearing? Anything other than that?
I mean, I think what I heard is a sticking point of what Madrid are after in terms of. I think they are trying to push more for. I think it's an obligation to buy. I don't think Liverpool want that. Where they're forced to have to buy him at the end. I don't think Madrid, and also Madrid. I think Madrid want Liverpool to pay for all his wages, and Liverpool want Madrid to pay some of the wages, which normally happens in loans. The loaning club pays some of the wages. Yeah, but Madrid don't want to do that. They want him off the books. I think that's a stumbling block. That Liverpool, because obviously we're seeing as well that Liverpool they're not even willing to do like contract renewals right now for anyone. So they're waiting to the summer for all that. So I don't think they want to splash out 100 grand fully for someone. They're not even willing to like negotiate contracts for like Van Dijk and stuff. So I think I'd love Milito at Liverpool, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the more we might have had talks with him, but I think he's going to end up going to Bayern because I think Bayern will just pay what Madrid want to get him over there because.
Well, we've already reached our limit for foreign players too, right?
Yeah, that also counts.
So we'd have to get somebody to bring him in. Yeah,
that also counts against us. I think I don't think there's anything takers for Origi, so it looks like he's going to be staying. And there's unless you unregister Adrian, which I was pushing to say we should unregister him, but I don't think the club would. But I was thinking that unregister him, because. He doesn't play anyhow, and he's not been in training like recently. So he's not injured, so just let him go.
Yeah.
But I think they don't want to.
What were your thoughts about the fallout from the Burnley game?
Well, I think like I said, I thought Twitter was toxic after that. Like, and I was trying to be the voice of reason. I was trying to be I
was toxic.
I think it was really toxic, but I was trying to voice the reason because I was thinking I was saying to people, look, fair enough, yeah, we're going to criticize FSG for not backing Klopp and spending money. That's fair enough, yeah. They're not backing him, fair enough, yeah. But I was trying to voice the reason and say, look, in the same situation, I'm fully 100% Klopp in. I'm not saying, I love Klopp, but I feel like at the same time, if there's any other manager, take away what Klopp's achieved with us, he'd be under scrutiny right now. Because it's not good enough, and the buck would fall at him. And I feel that obviously he's got cash in the bank for winning us the Champions League, the league, and everything's done for the club and how he's put us back on the map. Yeah, but at the same time, he's got to take responsibility. Klopp's at fault for poor substitutions, poor tactics during the season. For if the players aren't motivated, that comes down to the manager. It's his job to motivate and get the players pumped up, and sometimes they don't look motivated or they are off the pace. It's down to the manager and the coaches, so they have to take the blame for that. So that's what I was saying. For me, I felt Klopp is equal to blame for the predicament as FSG are, because we can blame them for transfers, but still the teams we put out should still be winning most of the games we've dropped top points in. And if we're not winning, that comes down to obviously coaching and the manager not being able to motivate the players. So
for me, it was like. A lot of people put the blame on Origi, myself included. He missed a golden opportunity. But when I thought about it last night, I mean, how much time has he actually played this season? Very, very little.
One
You
in
know,
15 games.
Yeah, he came into this game cold, obviously lacking in confidence. He knows that there's pressure on him, and he gets a breakaway. And what's going through his mind for that 5 seconds as he dribbles past Ben Mee? He's just thinking, where am I going to put this? I can't miss this. I can't miss this. Ends up missing it. And the follow-up from that, I mean, myself included, like I said, was just completely unnecessary. But I think a lot of that's on Klopp too, because he chose to go with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri, and Origi in attack in this game. And at 50 minutes, we still haven't scored. And what does he do? He panics and brings on Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino.
I was going to say, the Origi substitution, I didn't understand it. Why take Origi off?
I actually thought he was playing well. He was creating, he was getting shots on target. I don't know if he was playing well, but he was. I actually think we got worse when him and Ox went off. Mo had that one shot when he came off the bench, but after that, he was non-existent.
But that substitution, he got taken off the 55-minute. Why bring him out anyhow for the second half if you're going to sub it in 55 minutes?
He panicked. Klopp panicked. That's what happened. I think he panicked.
I think what does that do for Origi's morale? I mean, I don't think he's going to play again anytime soon, but it completely destroys his morale, because obviously what it says as well is that Firmino, Bobby, Salah, Trent can put his stinkers, and they're guaranteed to play the next game. Origi knows he's only got maybe 55 minutes. If he doesn't put in a good performance at 55 minutes, he ain't going to play again. He's back to the basement.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought what he should have done. I thought he should have moved Shaq up to the wing. I kind of mentioned that in last episode. Move Shaq up to the wing and then move back Oxlade-Chamberlain to midfield, because clearly, Oxlade-Chamberlain can get a shot off pretty quickly, and it's usually a pretty good shot. And that's what him and Origi were doing in the first half. They were creating on their own. They were getting shots off. They weren't. I mean, they were on target, which is something we haven't seen from the front three for the past 5 games for the most part. So it's just, I thought it was a premature substitution. I think Klopp's substitutions pretty much all year have been not his greatest moments, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he's got to shoulder the lot of the blame for this, equal blame. So, but I think obviously
he did.
But I think with a lot of fans aren't willing to criticize him. They're not willing to call him out on it. And they're scapegoating FSG and blaming that instead of saying, okay, well, look, Klopp is to blame for this as well. And I think that's why I feel I think we should be honest with that and say, on both sides, it's not been good enough this season. And questions have to be raised here, because I don't know what it is, Andrew. Why do you feel that since we won the league, since that first lockdown, we've just been atrocious, in a lot of games? I don't understand. Why do you think that is? What is that? What's the thing
I honestly don't know. I honestly think you can go back to the Atletico Madrid game, if we're being honest. I think that we can. That really put us back, and ever since then, we had that big loss to City. We still got some results, but we beat Chelsea over the summer. But I mean, maybe it's just a hangover. I don't know. It's a different season. It's very strange. We've been riddled with injuries this season, and I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it's a damn good one. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's tough to say it. For me, the center back conversation in January, it's a good conversation to have, but I don't think we can't blame our results on a lack of a additional center back. I think it comes down to lack of creativity up front. Teams lower in the table teams understand that if they park the bus on us, which is what Spurs are probably going to do next week, we're going to have a hard time. And, you saw it in this game. There was a few times where, Mo Salah was trying to dribble past a player, didn't really know what to do with the ball. Sadio Mane, same thing. Roberto Firmino. But when I look at City players, low blocks don't work against City because their wingers and their forwards are able to beat a man one-on-one. And that's what we used to be able to do. Sadio Mane used to be able to take a man one-on-one. Couple scissors, beats him to the end line, crosses it into the 6-yard box, tap it in. That's what City do all day long. Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling. Our wingers have kind of lost that.
Yeah, I think I do agree with what you're saying. Then I think what happens is with Man City, because they've got their 2 main centre backs, their wingers start high up the pitch. With our ones, So I think Salah and Mane are still picking up the ball quite deep, and they're not as high up the pitch in terms of being able to be, hanging on the shoulder of the fullbacks or the centre backs. And so I think they're more tired when they get into the penalty box.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go to the chat real quick. Wakar says that Shaq played decent. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I think Shaq played decent. I think I would have liked to have seen him play through the middle a bit more, but I think for what it was, I mean, no one played well yesterday. Realistically, it was a difficult, so it was hard. But I think in the time there were times where our ball, in terms of even Shaq, like he's putting in pointless crosses that it didn't make sense. It just feels like sometimes we are. Our main aim is cross and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I gave the stat yesterday. I think Trent had 22 crosses and only one successfully made it to a Liverpool player, and I think Robertson had 6 to 8 or something like that. Overall, the two fullbacks had 30 crosses, and only 1 or 2 went to a Liverpool player. But Alex in the chat says, I generally think we are just a bit behind where we need to be in terms of our squad that Klopp built for particular jobs and times. He filled that squad out with box-to-box center mids in galore. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you were saying the other day too, yesterday as well. I mean, you wouldn't replace Gini with another box-to-box center midfielder.
No, I think the one thing we miss is, and I was in this earlier as well, like we might need to change formation or style of play. I think we need an attacking midfielder. We need someone that I think yesterday was crying out for someone who could shoot from long distance, that can drive in the box and run at people and score goals. And we don't have that. We haven't had that since Coutinho left. We need a. Obviously, we thought Kate and Ox are going to do that, but they're always injured, so we can't rely on them. We need someone that like a Coutinho in the team, and I think like we might need to change it in the summer to go into playing with a 10. I know we stopped doing that, but I feel this fullback things of us playing by the flanks has been figured out. That teams know put a 4-4-2 against us, and Liverpool can't penetrate that.
Mm-hmm.
Play free at the back, Liverpool can't penetrate that. So I think we need to go back to having a 10. And then that will also mean changing the striker. We need an out-and-out striker and a 10 behind that, and then play through the middle. And I think we'll be a completely different team.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of shouts, myself included, to move Thiago up to the 8. Maybe at USM as kind of like a box-to-box. But even at Bayern, he was more of like a 6, correct?
6, 8 sometimes, yeah, because it depends. Like he would alternate with Goretzka between the two. So. But he wasn't playing as deep as he is for Liverpool. For Liverpool, he's playing quite a bit more deeper. And also Bayern have much better movement. So he's actually Thiago's passes are worthwhile because he's got so much movement around him. Liverpool, we're all static.
Yeah, it just seems like we're just so disciplined in attack. This player has to play this position. He has to stay on this left side. Sadio Mane has to stay on the left side. He can't go into the right side. He can't go into the middle. He can't drop back. He just stays on the left. He has to beat his man, and that's it. It's just there's no fluidity. There's no movement. So when you play a team like Burnley that are so good at defending in their own box, that we make it easy.
That's true. I think what Ali's saying here is quite interesting. He said that we are now having 80-20% games where, remember before we were a counter-attacking side. Yeah, we haven't. When's the last time we scored a good counter-attacking side goal? Maybe the one for me against Palace. But not often do we see us score those wicked counter-attacking goals where we break on teams from a corner or, it's just 1 or 2 passes and we're in. And plus, I think, you were mentioning about how our players are rigid. We don't see the alternate combinations. Remember we used to say like Salah, Mane, and Firmino could alternate. We don't see that anymore.
No, they don't wake up. They look at their man and they're trying to take him one-on-one. They decided they can't, so then they pass it back to either their fullback or to Gini Wijnaldum, and that's what happens. That's literally, and it's just recycled over and over and over again. So I agree with you. I think that Klopp and his coaching staff need to really look at this and try to figure out what the next move is. Do we change formation? Do we go to a 4-2-3-1? Do we just let the other team have the ball? Just give Burnley the ball. Just kick it up to Burnley here. Have the ball. See if you can get past us, and then maybe we can counter. It's just they got to figure something out.
I think it's. I don't think we've ever seen where all three strikers are in such poor form and low in confidence.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're waiting for Jota to come back. You know, like just to give us something different. Because he makes runs that no one else does. So he's badly.
I hate that argument though, just because look at our squad, look at our lineup. We put out a really, really good team with the amount of injuries that we have. We are still a great team. We can't be reliant on, a player who's been in the squad for 8 to 9 games in the Premier League. So I just hey Stevie, there he is.
Yeah, pull me out real quick. I'll be right back in.
Okay. So I just hate using that excuse as, once we get Jota, because we said the same thing about Thiago, said the same thing about Henderson, said the same thing about Matip. It's all these things coming together. For me, it just comes down to the front three. I think that they're tired. I think that they've lost confidence, and I think they just need a sit down. And I was actually really glad that Salah and Firmino were started on the bench, and when they came on, I was proven right because they didn't improve the game at all. So,
you think it's a mentality thing?
Huh?
You think it's a mentality thing? Like,
I think it's a confidence thing. I think players can try to avoid the media as much as they want, social media, whatever it is, but they know what people are saying about them. They know, Firmino knows that people are saying that he's not a goal scorer. Salah knows that he hasn't scored in 4 to 5 games. Sadio Mane knows the same thing. They all know this stuff. And then, unfortunately for them, they are seriously relied upon by this Liverpool team. You're not going to see Gini Wijnaldum score a goal. You're not going to see Jordan Henderson put one in the top right corner. It's just so rare for those things to happen. So we're just over-reliant on these guys. And now that they're failing us, now we're seeing results go against us.
But I wonder with, why can't Klopp play Gini as an attacking midfielder like he does for Holland? Try that. Because Gini scores loads of goals for Holland. His record for Holland is ridiculous. The goals, his assists. Why can't we try Gini in an attacking role? Like, when we're playing a low block, why can't we tell Gini, look, you're not playing this low, like how you normally play. Get up the pitch, get in the box, score goals. You're playing as an attacking player.
Yeah, and that's something you kind of hinted at, I think, last episode. You said that, when you watch Man City, you'll see Gundogan get into the box. You'll see Gundogan link up with the wingers, and that's something you never see with Gini Wijnaldum. I mean, he's only just lingering outside the box, waiting for that recycled pass. And that's his usefulness in the team and against a low block. It's frustrating.
I don't know. It pains me to see Liverpool like this because I don't want us to go back to how it used to be, where we're back, under Roy Evans and Gerard Houllier. Those days we were, top 4 was a big, getting top 4 was a huge success for us. We are should be an established top 4. No offense, look, fair play to teams like Leicester, but we're a better team than Leicester. They should be ahead of us. We're a better team than.
We'll
Chelsea.
still beat Leicester. I think we'll still beat Leicester. I think we still beat Chelsea. I think we still beat Arsenal. I think we still beat all of these teams.
Hope so, but it's to that point where our run of games is like crazy, and it is worrying, like the fact that if we don't pick up points, we could be in trouble,
Yeah, I mean, Alex in the chat is saying some real good stuff here. He said, I would love to see Shaq come behind Jota. We saw the danger they caused against Ajax and West Ham with Salah and Mane in their natural positions with Thiago and another mid and double pivot. So he's agreeing with us with the 4-2-3-1. And I mean, yeah, I think Shaq would thrive there, especially with a guy like Jota, who's constantly making runs, constantly moving, constantly looking to score a goal. I mean, it seemed like Shaq actually found himself in a lot of good open spaces against Burnley. He definitely did have some times where he was pressured a bit, but there was just no movement inside the box. Bobby's dropping in. We need to just tell Firmino to just start looking for goal. Start looking for goal. It's just there was no movement. It's too easy.
Yeah, like, do you guys feel like 100% one of the strikers are going this summer?
No.
I don't know. I feel like if this was a normal year, I'd say yes. But I just think because of COVID, like revenues for all the teams are going to be down, and like to get any of our front three, to get a Mane or a Salah, it's going to be at least 100 mil. more than likely more than that. Firmino would probably be, I don't know, 50, 60, somewhere around there. But like, I just don't see teams forking up that kind of money next year. I think it's going to be hard for any big name to move because, again, with COVID, unless you win the Champions League, something like that, you're not going to. It's going to be hard to have the funds to afford somebody like that.
Yeah,
I don't think Salah's even.
Yeah, I was watching Haaland tonight, and I was thinking, God, I love him on our team. Like the guy's magical. Like he'd be perfect as a as a new number 9 for us. Like he's even improved his link-up play this year, like where he can hold the ball up, bring players in. It's actually improved a lot this year. So I know his release clause doesn't kick until next summer.
I agree with you, and I agree with Magical Mo. I don't know if I would sell Firmino, but I would love to sign Haaland. But Alex in the chat is saying some real good stuff here. He said he agrees that the false 9 role isn't the thing anymore. I honestly thought that Origi played quite well against Burnley. I agree with that. We saw a center forward beating players and getting some good shots off. Yeah, I don't know. The one thing I would say about that is I don't know if the false 9 is not a thing anymore. I just think that Klopp needs to be flexible with his strategies going into games. You can't just go into every game saying, okay, we're going to do a 4-3-3. We're going to attack. We're going to possess. We're going to cross the balls in. You need to have a plan B, which is what we said yesterday. A plan B, a plan C. If things aren't working, you need to have these players come in at this amount of time. Just going with the same thing over and over again is literally the definition of insanity. So, yeah, Klopp's insane right now.
Well, I think what really surprised me is the fact that when we're needing a goal, we always bring Milner on.
What did you say?
But that's the thing, though. We don't have like with all the injuries. I think that's one of the biggest things about us too is that there really isn't anybody on the bench that you fear coming off the bench. With Jota injured right now, and we don't, again, no goal scoring midfielders. Like when we start with our best guys, if you can survive the first 60 minutes, you're probably going to see it out because we don't have anyone behind them that really scares you. And that's why Jota was so good and so effective. It was just a shot of energy coming into the squad every single time. And honestly, I think that's what Naby Keita's role should be on this team too. I think for the considerable future, while he comes back from injury, don't even start him. Have him play 30 to 45 minutes every game. Just beat that shot because we've seen him do that, and he's been effective that way. It seems like anytime he tries to go to the 60 or more is when he gets hurt.
Is there a game where Keita has ever changed the game off the bench? I can't think of one.
I mean, honestly, I'm very bad at going back and thinking about who did what in games. The one thing I say, like, just having a guy who can play in that attacking midfield role, who can get the ball and carry it and connect, like that's the biggest thing I've seen. Like, he's slacked sometimes defensively, but going forwards, I just thought, I was like, wow, he's somebody who's actually attacking the defensive line with the ball in the midfield going forwards. We don't have that right now.
That's true. Magical Mo saying that we need to stop using the false 9, convert Thiago as an attacking mid. I would agree with that against a low block. Especially if Henderson can play the 6, maybe put Thiago as the 8 or the 10 and kind of go from there. Just because he's so good at beating players one-on-one, he just drags that ball. Oh, it's such a beauty to watch. But what do you guys think?
I think it's a good shout. I think we need to try something. Like, wherever it is right now is not working. So I think we need to potentially go back to the 4-2-3-1 and try that for a couple of games, because I know Klopp doesn't like playing that against the big teams, but I think we need to try it because the 4-3-3 is not working anymore. And we need to come up with something new, because it's just painful now to watch us. We're just doing the same, like I said, it's cross and hope for the best.
What about what Alex just said? Trying to get a guy like a Cavani, a Benteke, a Giroud, just someone who's a body in there who can just throw his body at the ball. What do you guys think about that?
I did mention a Diego Costa a couple of weeks back, and you guys said no.
Yeah, no, I think that's what Thiago's role was supposed to be when he came into the team. I think he was supposed. When you think about it, I think that Klopp's number 1 midfield would have been Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. And I think Thiago would have been in that attacking role. What was nice about Thiago was, for all of us, and I think we even said it on this podcast, was, okay, this guy is going to be able to play every single position. He's probably going to start as a 8 or probably start as the 10, but he can play the 8 and he can play the 6. And now since he's been here because of the injuries, he's had to play the 6 every single time, or at most the 8. So I think that's really the issue, is that like we haven't, and Klopp's issue, and like that's probably why we haven't signed an attacking mid yet, because we thought that Thiago was going to be that guy, but now with the injuries, he can't be.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have ever been an attacking mid, but I definitely think I agree with you. I think he would have been like the 8. But what do you guys think about Man United on Sunday? Do you think that you go with a rotated squad, or do you go with a really strong squad?
Oh, you know how I feel about the FA Cup. I've said it enough times. Like, so for me, I feel I said before, I think that Klopp got it wrong last night. We should have played our best team and rotated the weekend, because now he's probably going to have to play a strong team the weekend, because to get some kind of rhythm back, especially after losing. So I would rotate again. I think for me, Tottenham matters more. I'd rather not Matic play the weekend and get injured and then he's out for the Tottenham game.
Yeah, I just think that I think that we should go with a strong lineup. I don't care what it doesn't matter to me if it's a cup game, if it's a training match, or what it is. I think that we need to get these players. The only way to get out of a funk is to play through it. You know, obviously they don't have the confidence. Maybe Man United will go with a rotated squad. I don't know. I don't really care what they're doing, but I think we should go with a strong squad. I think we should just put the front 3 back out there. Just keep them going. And until they score a goal, just keep playing them. I asked for rotation. Huh?
You start Matip.
It's a good question. Probably not. I probably wouldn't start Matip. I think you have to put maybe Nat Phillips back there. I don't know if I'd put Reece in that game, but yeah.
Full rotation.
No.
Yep. I say you go Tsimikas, go Nico Williams, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in the back. My midfield would be something like Curtis Jones, Milner, and maybe Ox or Shaqiri, someone like that. And then my front 3 would be Origi, Minamino, and somebody else. Maybe one guy. Maybe throw Salah with them or something like that, and he can finally if Milner started, he'd be captain. But that's what I would do. I just go full rotation. We pretty much have a game like every 3 days, especially with Champions League coming up soon too. And like I just think we need our. I don't know. Like I want them to play out of form, but imagine if somebody gets injured in the FA Cup, then what's everyone going to say about that?
At this point, who cares? You just got to keep playing. To be honest, I mean, Matip's the one exception for me, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think that now that you say all that, I think that it might be good for like Origi, Oxlade-Chamberlain, you know, all these guys who don't usually get minutes to just
basement guys.
What?
Release the basement.
Yeah. Yeah. See some sunlight, you know.
I will say though, back to Alex's point, I will say I was really impressed. I shouldn't say really impressed, but I thought Divock Origi did better than I was expecting in that Burnley game. He looked a lot more lively than he had in the past. Looked like he actually had some hunger to him. And yeah, if you're going to just whip in, if Trent's just going to whip in 30 balls into the box every game, might as well have a tall guy in there.
Is he concerned, Trent?
Oh, huge. He hasn't been the same since his injury. Like long term, I'm not concerned, but I just think there's something going on with him right now. I just feel like I don't know if his injury is still nagging him or what it is, but
I don't know. It's not just Trent for me though. You know, you can't just blame everything on Trent. It seems like people are always looking for a scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, the stats right now are against him. He sprayed in 20 crosses yesterday and only 1 landed, so it's tough. But honestly, there weren't many people to cross to. You know, there was a few occasions I was watching. He went for the cross. Yeah, he probably should have looked up before he crossed it, but there was nobody in the box. Nobody. They were all standing on the outside.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. The movement of the front 3 has been really bad. When Trent crosses, no one goes near post. They just float middle or they go back post. And the front post ball is there. It's 100% there. But then also, there was times before Mo and Firmino got in where I literally saw it was Origi, Mane, Ox, and I think Shaqiri. All 4 of them were right on the top, along the line of the defense, and all trying to make the same run over the top, and not one person checked back. And that happens a lot. I feel like is they get a little stagnant up top, and they're expecting this awesome through ball that doesn't come.
Yeah, well, I think with Magic Mo here, we need to sign a proper right back to cover, give Trent competition, because I think he's not challenged. I think he knows he can put in poor performances, he'll still play.
I'm telling you, I'd sit him down for the FA Cup, put Nico in there.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll get the point across though, because it's the FA Cup. You know, it's just if you sat him for Tottenham, that would definitely get the point across.
Yeah. What about Magic Mo's point about Mo and his dribbling being pretty bad?
Yeah, it is a concern.
They just all, like I've been saying it all episode, they just all lack confidence right now. They know they haven't scored in a while. They know that the pressure is on them. It always has been to score, but in the past they've been able to deliver. And right now that they're not, they aren't confident dribbling past a man. They aren't confident in their passes. They aren't confident in any aspect of football. And that's why we've been losing. That's why we've been tying matches. That's why we've been dropping in the table.
David Naddock from the Mirrors had a pretty interesting tweet about Klopp.
What do you say?
Some frank home truths from Klopp, who says he strongly recommends signing a center back. He was told by FSG there's no money. They're not changing their stance despite the poor form, and Klopp's not going to cry like a baby about it just because he's not going to get what he wants.
Interesting.
And, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Should FSG get somebody? Did you guys talk about this already?
We did, but I think Klopp needs to be more ruthless and demand it. I think if it was maybe a Pep or Ferguson, they would demand it for the board and say, "Give me what I want." You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we won the Champions League, won the Premier League, and we really haven't spent that much money yet. I know we have Thiago and Jota, but we still haven't spent that much money yet. So it's just going to be interesting to see if the season continues to go, how it's gone, just what the reaction is going to be from the fan base. So it's already starting to turn.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm trying to do something real quick. You keep going.
Yeah, I think if we don't get a centre back, then the league's going to be a tough ask. The league's going to be a massive tough ask. But I think the Champions League is a possibility for the knockout stages. So I don't think it's unrealistic for us to go for the Champions League.
So there's his comments right there. That's pretty cool. Just figured that out. So there's his comments right now that Steven just read off. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier. I just think that if he did get backed by FSG, then that shows their intentions of wanting to win some silverware. I think right now it's just tough because in the summer they said that they didn't have any money, and now they're saying it again. But in the summer we signed 3 players. So do you believe it? Do you not? I don't know. Is this just an excuse to kind of take pressure off Klopp? I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch the rest of the year. Just how it shakes out. If we didn't spend that much money and we finish 4th, they're gonna have a lot of heat on them going into the summer. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, 100%. I think all the FSG outers will come out and they'll start saying get them out.
They're already starting.
Oh, they're already out. But.
Anything else?
What else? Anything?
Was there anything else that came up?
I don't know what I missed. I don't know what I missed what you guys talked about, so you'll have to take the lead
Talking
on
about it all.
That's good. It's good. It sounds like a good first episode then. But
I don't think that's to add really on my side.
Either way, we're gonna be back tomorrow. We got the FA Cup preview. Liverpool, Man United. Will the streak continue? That'll be the topic tomorrow. We'll be putting a good performance for the first time in a month. We'll see.
Well, I want to cover this last question from Alex. He said, would you guys take no signings now if it meant spending in the summer? An actual exciting signing, that is. So I'm assuming he means like a Haaland, Mbappe, all that kind of stuff.
Well, look, the reason why this Haaland and Mbappe, the only way you're going to get Haaland and Mbappe is if one of them we sell to buy. So, you know, and I don't want us to sell to buy. You know, if we're getting a Haaland and we're keeping the front three, fair enough, but that's not going to happen. So I don't think it makes it stronger. So one of the front three and bring Haaland in, because I think we're still back in the same predicament. Because I think we need 5 good forwards, like going forward.
Yeah, well, I think but it's not that far out of there. I mean, really, when you look at it, we would need like necessities would be another center back, attacking midfielder, creative attacking midfielder, and then probably a true striker, whether it's somebody to replace Firmino or back Firmino up, someone just at that caliber.
Yeah,
So,
I think they would have to split time with Firmino. I think long gone are the days where Firmino starts every game.
Yeah.
I think he needs to have some serious rotation. I love him. I absolutely love him. He's one of my favorite players in the squad, but he needs to see some rotation.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think this is the worst we've seen Bobby. To be honest.
Definitely.
I think it's the worst we've seen all the front three.
Yeah.
Not just Bobby.
Yeah, it is. Well, we have to hope that Klopp to stop the rot.
Yeah.
Well, that was an awesome inaugural episode of Friday's Final Word. I'm glad I got to catch 10 minutes of it. But for all you guys who joined the chat, we appreciate you guys. Spread the word, and definitely be back tomorrow. Should be a fun pre-match for the FA Cup. We're going to have a lot to talk about with that game. But everyone else who hasn't liked and subscribed yet, what are you doing? You listen to this long, might as well hit the button. Help us out. Help us grow. Have other Liverpool fans see this. It'd be awesome. But otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Up the Reds, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
All right.